Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Is When Words Do Come to Life. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk. Let's dialogue. Well, I named this State's Attorneys Are the Key to Inmates Going Home. As Kim Foxx was running for re-election, and those individuals were pushing hard for her to get back into office. Um, and she ran a resume about, how she is a resident of Cabrini Green, and she understood what was going on as it related to mass incarceration and the injustices of our prison system. Um, you know, just all kinds of stuff. But then as you saw things mosey along, you saw that when the riots were going on downtown, um, her and Mayor Lightfoot, they made their comments that, we're going to use every tool, every avenue to catch those individuals who were looting downtown. Now, put a pause. Downtown was being covered because white folks are downtown. Prominent businesses are downtown. Now, people alluded that Madison and Pulaski was being destroyed. I mean, they was looting, but they was not looting like that. So some of the stuff was really exaggerated. So Madison and Pulaski was not tore up like they said. Madison and Pulaski was destroyed when Martin Luther King was murdered, and it was never rebuilt. Now, what they're going to do at Madison and Pulaski as they journey from downtown a little further up, and when white folks want certain areas, they're going to fix it up. But getting back, so Kim Foxx made the statement she understood. Now, I said to myself, and they started catching people who had looted and took some things. I said to myself saying, if you all can use the cameras, if you all can use your resources for people that looted, you know whether somebody committed a crime or not. You know this. There is no questions, there is no if, there is no ands, there is no buts about it. And so, although we put a lot of blame on the police, we put a lot of blame on the judges, but judges play a part. Polices are not real the big issue when it come down to individuals going home and being released. It's the state's attorney's office. That's the problem. You release individuals who have 3 times record that they did the same thing 3 times, but you hold individuals inside those walls who have no records at all. And then when they get out and commit another crime, you want to blame letting them out. Well, them was the wrong ones you should have let out from the get-go. Why did you let them out? Let the ones out who had not been to trial. And then you get to court and you go before the judge, and the state's attorney introduce themselves, and the private attorneys and public defenders, they introduce themselves. This is the protocol, right? And when they want to go a step further, the state's attorney pretty much say they're not ready. That's what they say. Or we're waiting on this piece of information, or we're waiting on that piece of information, or we're waiting on this. So we need to continue to that. Now you're talking about 1, 2, 3 months in between time. And before you know it, 1 year has passed, 2 years have passed, 3 years have passed, 4 years have passed, 5 years have passed. It don't take nobody that long. At point in fact, George Floyd trial did not take that long. You have the evidence. You already know the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. But why is it, Kim Foxx, state's attorney, why is it that your office stalled the process? You know everything. You know it. You know it all. There's nothing left to question. And so to me, Are you really in that seat to help, or are you really in that seat to hurt? Because from where I'm sitting and where I'm looking, you're hurting. You're not helping anybody. Nobody whatsoever. Because those individuals should have been gone home a long time ago. They should have been. But yet and still, y'all stall the process. And here is my other part to that. When the state's attorney presents to the judge, I thought it was supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now the state's attorney office has flipped it and made it guilty until proven innocent. So to me, you're negating people's rights. You're negating fair treatment of an individual. And you all, the state's attorney office, is causing the rift in the families. And per your statistical data, per Kim Foxx office statistical data, 90% in our prison system is black and brown. That's a red flag for me. So what you're saying to me, ours have been set up to take a fall for something that they was innocent, and some of them are guilty, but not the percentage that you said. Because then in that statistical data, you rerounded and came back and said, well, 50% of them that's sitting there are innocent. And I'll go back to the conceal and carry. Conceal and carry was supposed to have a purpose. Now, you have a right to defend yourself with conceal and carry. You have to take classes, you have to have insurance. So when the instructor allows you to have a permit for conceal and carry, that means that you are competent and you are able to conduct yourself as such, that you're not a hothead individual. You know the rules of engagement before you engage. And the state's attorney office know that. You are very much aware. You all force families into financial strain. You force kids to be without their parents for a duration of time. And inside those walls, Tom Dart and Kim Foxx, is unsanitary. I've been told some areas they only allowed to take a shower once or twice a week. That's unsanitary within itself. Then you ask them to use their stuff to clean. But again, Tom Dart clearly said everybody inside of Cook County Jail, oh, we following the protocol. But when the judge had to put an order in to make him do what he should have been doing from the beginning, that leaves questions for me and those who have family members in there. Now you have jail ATM in which the family members pay for. But you got stipulations on that. But the food that you serve is dog food. And then you wonder why these inmates have diabetes, high blood pressure, and everything else. These are the reasons why. Now, I'm also understanding that it's icy cold in there, that they're in there wearing thermals. Do you know when it's too cold, people can get arthritis? When your workers, your sheriffs are complaining about the conditions, that means it's something to this. Now, that's probably a building that needs to be condemned as well as Statesville. Because when I tell you, when I walk through those hallways, it smells. Even in the courtroom, there are ants and bugs crawling on the floor. Where is all this money going? Where's all this money going? And why do these facilities look like y'all had buildings outside for 20 years? Nobody mopping, nobody cleaning, nobody sweeping, nobody doing none of that. Families are paying nice money to pay for attorneys, 350 to $500 an hour, and retainer fees are up to almost $5,000 to retain. What family you know that's already struggling got that kind of money? And Kim Foxx, why would you put people in a position that they have to clean out their bank account, put up their house? What kind of mess is this? But yet and still you stitch your ass up there talking about, I understand because I'm going to work on. What have you worked on? Because I ain't seen shit that's been done yet. I ain't seen no change. I ain't seen nothing better. I ain't seen nothing. Not one iota. And it's sad that we have to keep coming to this platform to expose these things. And again, I'm going to tell you too, boo. I don't care if you're purple, yellow, pink, gray, blue, or orange. Because you black, it's a no holds barred here. You're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. We give it to the white man, we can give it to you too. Ain't no discrimination here. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Tom Dot don't do his job neither. We have a governor that's over everybody, and he's accountable too because he allow it. We have a mayor. She's accountable too because she allow it. Again, you have family members that's in these situations. You are going to use all of your resources to make sure that they don't sit long and they get to go home. Why is it that black people, black men, black women are the only one who suffer by the hands of a system that's supposed to be justice and fair? Why is it? Before a black man walk before a judge, he's already labeled as a threat to society and thrown in maximum security, don't have no record of no wrongdoing whatsoever that you consider to label them as a threat to society. That's not the case. An upstanding citizen, but they're still sitting in there for 3 years. Why? It don't take nobody. Hell, Stevie Wonder can see this wrong. And I don't know why y'all can't see it. But yet and still, you all don't want nobody to expose you. You don't want nobody to address it. You don't want nobody to bring it up. You don't want nobody to talk about it. Well, let me tell you something. As long as I'm a voting constituent, my voice matters. And anybody else who's listening to this video, your voice matters too. It's far too long. We have had too many black people that's been wrongfully convicted. We have far too long have people sitting in jails for the foolishness and the shortfall of the state's attorney office and some of these judges. If you can let Kyle Rittenhouse go home, damn it, you can let the rest of them go home too. What are you holding them for? They're on electronic monitor. If they do something, you scooping their butts up anyway and bringing them back. My mama said, give a person enough rope, they'll hang themselves every time. And those that you should not have let out have hung themselves and they're already back. But let me tell you, this system that we call justice and fair, y'all set people up for failure and to be repeat offenders. You know why? Because you dump them back into the same environment in which they came out of. See, if you don't give me no tools to change, and you place him back where I come from, which is the only thing I know, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going back to do what I need to do. They can't get no job. They got to struggle because they got a record. Y'all don't consider none of that. But yet and still, it's so easy to label us. You don't label yourselves. And I'll say this again with a firm face. White, you manipulate, you deceive, and you are the biggest thieves ever. Because you went over to Africa and you stole and you brought people over here to serve your purpose, and then you want to shit on them at the same time. And you've been stealing ever since. That's all I'm saying. So, Kim Foxx, think about it. Because people are watching. And guess what? We're tired of broken promises and the lies. Open up them jail cells. There's a young man that's been in there for 9 years, have not been to court. If there's an attorney out there pro bono, you need to find out who he is and make sure that boy go home to his family members. When I heard that from the voice of a family member, I was PO'd because that's ridiculous. Y'all putting stuff on these young boys and their lifestyle is not that. It's not. Some of them are. Some are because that's all they know is the streets. But a lot of them are not. And stop lumping them into one bucket, because if you black, don't mean I'm a criminal, don't mean I'm a thief, don't mean I'm a liar, don't mean I'm a killer, I'm a murderer, I'm a rapist, I'm none of that. I'm a pedophile. It don't mean that because of the color of my skin. Because again, Playboy, whole mansion full of underage women. But you know what the difference was? He was white. He got away with it. Slave days. Masters was seducing young girls. Did y'all lock him up for rape? No. They weren't giving it up freely. Y'all was taking it. See, y'all prioritize what you want to prioritize. You want to make what's important for you. That's convenient for you. And it's time out for that. And again, I'll say every entity that's out here that's fighting for prison reform, justice, fair treatment, and the release and stop of mass incarceration, we all need to start coming from every angle of this earth to make sure that it comes to light. Not just talk, but action wise. All the way from the White House, all the way down to every local state government, every city government, every last one of them. It's time out. No parent should have to sit down because your doctor tells you pregnant and then you find out you having a son. I got to sit down and tell you about the color of your skin. You can't walk the street. You can't wear hoodies. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't sell loose cigarettes. You can't say, okay, I'm going to put my hands up and get shot anyway. You can't do all this thing. Why we have to sit down and tell our kids and run a list? The white folks not sitting down and run their kids a list. And they the biggest drug addicts that ever walk. But we have to sit down and run a list to our children. Why? Again, y'all call these United States, and what's united about it? Where is our rights? Where is our voice? When do we become important? That's all I'm saying. All right. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It's sad. You all are very sad and pitiful. And I don't know how you sleep at night. I don't. I don't know how you sleep. And I don't know how you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning. All right. Have a good one.